you haven't done an interview in many years.
I've done one interview, but I wouldn't consider it like a real interview. I hadn't really created any buzz at that point, so this is like my first real interview.
Right. What were the circumstances of that interview previously? You were just around?
Yeah, just around. Basically, it was some people from my city.
Right.
But I don't know. I didn't really like the questions they asked either. It wasn't a good interview in my opinion. It's just like the first interview where like I can really reach out to my fans and tell them, everything about Plug and B and the other community.
Hell yeah, we're honored.
How old were you when you did that first? Because that was like, 4 years ago, right?
Bro, yeah, that was like, 3-4 years ago. I was like 14, yeah.
Because you've been making music since you were super young, right?
Dude, yeah, like 10, yeah.
10?
Okay, yeah.
And okay, so for the people who don't know, where are you from? And give us a little bit of your childhood experience.
So I'm from originally Minneapolis, Minnesota. Getting into like music, I guess, it was from like my dad. He listened to like a lot of Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. I grew up playing the drums with him. He played the guitar. I listened to like a lot of Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, like stuff like that. And a lot of my influence comes from, surprisingly, like Michael Jackson and music and like that type of scene, like 80s music, stuff like that.
My parents played a ton of Michael Jackson and the Beatles and Marvin Gaye for me.
Dude, I still listen to Michael Jackson to this day. Like, it's like one of my favorite artists, like forever. Yeah.
It's kind of hard for us to even judge his impact because we were like, I was kind of like alive during his run, but like a lot of his run was before I was really like even paying attention to music. But like, I mean, that's kind of like one of the most outsized impacts on music ever.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I mean, like, honestly, dude, there's like not like a single artist like specifically that like influenced my music career. It's like all types of music, like R&B, like I like music like Paramore, you know what I mean?
Love
like
Paramore. I just recently got into them because I with Olivia Rodrigo, So Tough. My girl was like, no, you need to listen to Paramore. That's where this shit comes from.
That shit's fucking fire. Yeah, I fuck with that shit. I fuck with all types of music. So yeah, I don't know. Like I can just, a lot of my fans have said like they hear like an emo like type of like spin on like the Plug and B that I do. Like I kind of see it a little bit, but like that's like where a lot of my inspiration comes from, like that really melodic type of sound.
And were you just always perpetually online?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
From very early on? Did you ever go outside and play in the dirt or anything?
Hell yeah. Of course. I mean, like, I wasn't like an iPad kid or anything, you know what I mean? But like, I was always like technological. Like, I know my way around like a computer and stuff like that. So like, like learning how to make music was, I guess, like a lot easier than like other people could figure it out. You could say, I guess. But yeah, no, I'm a really technological person in my opinion.
But did you ever learn to play an instrument or anything, or everything was just learned online?
The drums, like,
right?
Yeah, I can play the drums. But I never like really tried to learn how to play like any other instruments. It's just like the computer is like easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so you start being online, like what kind of shit are you delving into on there, and was like music part of it from the beginning?
Yeah, so when I first started like getting into music online, I was like taking like 3-6 Mafia vocal chops and like creating like sample beats out of shit like that. I don't know if you know like DJ Smokey is. You know
yeah. We had him on back in the day.
Yeah. So shit like that. That's like what I first started with. So like I was like a producer way before I was like an artist. That's what I started with, and then like it branched out into like the rapping when I started skateboarding, actually. So like that got me into like the plug scene of everything, because the people I was around at the time, they were listening to like early Cardi, you know, like with the plug beats, Mexico Dro, stuff like that, and just like the underground plug scene in general. And that kind of just introduced me to the whole side of things. And from then on, I wanted to be a rapper, just seeing how like, the whole thing unfolded.
But you were like 10?
Yeah, no, that's the craziest part about it. Yeah.
Right. But was there ever part of you that was like, shit, I'm a 10-year-old white kid from a city that a lot of people don't know much about. Maybe I shouldn't be a rapper?
I mean, like,
that didn't occur to you?
No, it really didn't, honestly.
That's a beautiful thing that you had that confidence.
Yeah.
What age did you record your first song?
I want to say probably like 10, 11. Yeah. And what's funny about it is my first song ever was on a Mexico Dro beat. So, like, it's been plugged since, like, the root of everything.
So, break down what Plug and B is for the people who don't know what's going on.
It's hard to, like, put into words exactly what it is. If I could, like, explain it, it would be, like, plug drums on, like R&B melodies. Like, it's R&B and plug mixed together. That's the name Plug and B.
And what's your definition of like plug for the people out there? I feel like I kind of know what you mean just because I listen to a lot of those Mexican beats.
I mean, like, it's like jug drums, you know what I mean? Like just really like upbeat drums. I mean, like it's had like melodic aspects to it for like the majority of the time. Plug and B's been a thing, but you know, I don't know how I would describe Plug by itself. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, early Cardi describes it all. Just listen to early Cardi.
When I listen to your music, it feels like I'm in a house and the house is burning down, but instead of flames, it's auto-tune.
It's interesting.
I feel like I'm being consumed by the auto-tune, like when I'm listening to it, like it's inescapable.
What's crazy is like auto-tune aspect, like I use just as much auto-tune as like majority of artists. I don't know if it comes out in my voice more because like the way I sound, like more like high pitch type of voice.
Right, and I mean, actually, I'm kind of like oversimplifying too because it's like the distorted beats and the drums and all that shit kind of just comes together to just make it feel like it's kind of like almost like an end of the world type thing.
Yeah, I understand. I pitch up my music a lot of the time. Like it's not like my like natural voice. Like 50% of my music is like pitched up to like a higher octave just because like it sounds more melodic in my opinion.
And do you think that the desire to do that early on came from the fact that you were like, you know, so young that maybe like your voice hasn't developed fully yet, and so you were looking for other ways to make your music kind of stand out or sound like the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like it just sounded better to me. Like I was playing around with it, and I don't know, like I like the melodies more when it's pitched up, detuned. You know what I mean? I like my normal voice, but honestly, when I was younger, I hated it. Like the high pitch side of things, like the amount of like negativity that I got just off of like the fact that I had a high pitched voice and I was younger was insane. Yeah.
Damn.
So in high school though, you had to be the man because if you were dropping music early on, like what was the perception of you at school?
I only went like to actual school for my freshman year. I went to alternative school. So like, it's hard to explain what that really is, but like for me, honestly, they try to say it's for like bad
the
kids,
bad kids that get kicked
stuff
out.
like that. But like honestly, like it was just easier for me. Like the learning experience is like a lot easier in alternative school. There's a lot less pressure, and I felt like just the setting, like being around other kids that were like me and relatable to me, it was a lot easier to learn. But after my freshman year, that's when like COVID like started really hitting. So I did like online school through that school, and I just never went back. Like I just continued online school all the way through my graduation through that alternative school.
But was it a situation where you were forced to go to alternative school, or it was like a decision that
No,
you
it
and your
was
parents made?
really a decision because it not only was it an alternative school, it was a music based alternative school. So there was a lot of music aspects to it. They had, you know, studios in the school, and there was teachers there that were knowledgeable to music. So I don't know, I just felt like it was a good setting for me.
But if you're going to like a music school and your music is as avant-garde as your shit is, like how do the teachers react to it? Do they like try to understand what you're going for, or are they kind of like, no, you're doing it wrong, this isn't how music is supposed to sound?
They let me like do what I want for the most part. A lot of them like were into like boom bap type, like old,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like a lot of like older style music. So like they don't really understand like this newer like underground generation of music. But like they liked it. Like they didn't have anything against it. It's just like it's not what they grew up listening to. So it's like night and day difference to them. You know, it's like a completely different spin. Yeah.
Definitely.